Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Diaries of a 20-something. I'm Paige Marquez, your host, and today we're talking about one of the most overrated and overhyped holidays of the year, Valentine's Day. Now, I know some of you are in love and planning your little outfits and your little dinner dates, and that's cute. We support love over here. But for the rest of us who are single or spending Valentine's Day alone, what are we supposed to do? This episode is for you, all of the ones who have seemed to dodge this Hallmark holiday every single year. Now, before you roll your eyes and exit out of this video, hear me out. This is not going to be one of those episodes that is preaching self-love, where I tell you to light a candle and be grateful. No. This is going to be a single girl's playbook for owning Valentine's Day and making it all about you, man or no man. Because let's be real, this holiday is rigged, and if we're going to be playing the game, we may as well win. So here's the question we're answering. Friend or foe? Where does Valentine's Day fall for the single girlies, and what can we do about it? So pour yourself a little drink, text that man you're not supposed to text just for a little bit of chaos, and let's get into it. Okay, first things first, Valentine's Day is not real. It's literally a marketing stunt to make us women think that if a guy buys us flowers and gets us a dinner reservation at a nice restaurant, he somehow turns into Prince Charming. Like, where was all the energy when we first started dating? It's giving performative effort, and I, for one, am not a fan of that. I think that effort should be year-round, day to day. It shouldn't be all saved up for one day or one event or whatever the case may be. Honestly, the bar is so low that it's in hell. We deserve better. And don't even get me started on the men that don't believe in Valentine's Day. Like, what does that even mean? Like, Valentine's Day is not a religion. It's a holiday. Like, no. You just don't want to put in any effort. If a man tells you that he doesn't do Valentine's Day, what he's really telling you is to lower your expectations, because I will never meet them. But let's be fair for like 2 minutes. Valentine's Day can be cute if you're in a relationship and your man is not totally brain dead. Maybe you're getting spoiled. Maybe you're getting a Cartier bracelet. Maybe you're getting a nice dinner reservation. Maybe you're getting a trip to Paris. I know the spectrum's very wide. Maybe you're just getting a box of chocolates. Either way, it's the thought that counts. If that's the case, then I'm very happy for you, but this episode is definitely not for you. Like I was saying, Valentine's Day is literally a scam. It's a straight up money grab. It's for restaurants to upcharge you, for guys to be buying gas station flowers, and for your ex to be watching your Instagram story at 10 o'clock at night and slide up with a "what are you doing?" Like, whatever you do, just please decide that having dignity is a top priority. And honestly, my least favorite part about Valentine's Day is how all of these people are looking at single girls and being like, oh, like, don't you wish you had a date, or don't you wish you had a boyfriend? Like, no. To be so honest with you, I wish I had a Birkin. The thing is, like, they don't understand that, like, I would rather have no man than a man that is doing the bare minimum. And I talked about this a little bit on another episode, but very briefly. We all know those girls who are constantly having a boyfriend, like they're never single for longer than like a couple months. And if that's you, like, that's fine, you do you, but like, that's just not for me. Like, there is no way that I would meet a man good enough every single time to date. Like, I am picky about that. If I'm gonna date somebody, it's going to be for a real reason, and I'm gonna actually like them. It's not gonna be something where I'm just trying to have a boyfriend to not feel lonely, or like I feel like I'm in a rush. You know, like, the biological clock is a thing, but whatever. The fact is, a man would be lucky to take me and you out. And until someone's son decides to step up, I'd rather be alone on Valentine's Day. I have never spent Valentine's Day with a man before. My dad has always gotten me and my sister like chocolate or flowers or something, but I have never had a boyfriend or anybody serious enough on Valentine's Day to really do anything with them. Maybe I'll save it for marriage. Maybe I'll save Valentine's Day for marriage, because God knows I didn't save anything else. But I don't want to leave anybody out here. We have to address the girls that were literally swearing off men and swearing into celibacy like 2 months ago, but now they're in like a soft launch territory. 1 minute they were leading the anti-men single girl era, and now they have left us behind. But now they're spending the night in with some guy named Michael that they swear makes them see love differently. And I have a bone to pick with that one. Why do we always swear that men are different? I feel like every single time, and I do it, like I'm guilty of it too. Every single time I get involved with a new guy, I'll be like, oh, but he's different. Oh, this is different. It's literally not. It is the same thing every single time. There has been no experience that I've had since I've been like 16 maybe that hasn't already happened. Like it's just the same exact situations over and over and over again. Like it's exhausting. But you know, if you are one of the girls in the soft launch territory, good for you. Like honestly, I really do hope the best for you. Like I think we all do. But we are ready to take you back the moment he starts acting suspicious, because let's be so real, if he's doing the bare minimum in the beginning, it's not looking good. But until then, enjoy the love bubble, but we'll be here when it pops. But let's talk about the worst of the worst. Valentine's Day when you're in a situationship. If you're saying that you're not in a situationship, if you're texting your friends, do you think he's going to do anything for Valentine's Day? One, you're in a situationship, and two, no. If a guy wanted to spend Valentine's Day with you, you would know. He'd make it known. And if a guy wanted to commit to you, he would commit to you before Valentine's Day, because if a guy really liked you, he'd want to spend it with you. Maybe that's a hot take. Maybe it's just the hard truth. Like this literally isn't our first rodeo. That's like what I'm saying. Like, why do we act like every single guy is different? Every single scenario is different. Like, no, the signs are there. Just because they're a different person doesn't mean they're not playing the same exact game. This Valentine's Day, instead of waiting for him to text you and hoping that he texts you or whatever you're doing, let's make it about us. Take all that energy and let's put it into something that we really enjoy. Maybe take yourself out to dinner. Take your friends out for dinner. Do a Galentine's. Galentine's is a thing for a reason, guys. I would much rather spend Valentine's Day with my girls than a man that is gonna do the bare minimum. Because if a guy is taking you out on Valentine's Day and giving you roses, like that is the bare minimum. Like you should expect nothing less. If you're dating a guy and he's doing less than that, you probably shouldn't be. So now it's time to talk about us. Let's overindulge on our options for Valentine's Day this year. I have put together a single girl Valentine's Day playbook, and we have 6 options on how we could spend this year's Valentine's Day. And if you think of any more, leave them in the comments. Option 1, crying for all the things that he didn't do. Look, if you need to be dramatic, I'm not going to hold you back. If you need to let out a good cry, get in the car. If you live in a city, go in your bathroom, run a hot shower, and just blast Gracie Abrams and just let it all out. Maybe you're crying over your situationship who refuses to call you his girlfriend. Maybe you're crying because your ex-boyfriend moved on to somebody who looks exactly like you but slightly worse. Maybe you don't even know why you're crying, but you just feel like you should. It's okay. Have your moment. Set a timer. We cannot allow ourselves to feel sorry for ourselves for longer than an hour. Like, cry for an hour, let it out, then put on a hot outfit and go out with your friends. It's time to do something chaotic. And this leads me to option 2, showing up at your ex's house. Bonus if you never even dated in the first place. Now we are entering unhinged territory, aka my territory. If you're feeling messy, if you're bored, if you just want to see if you dangle a carrot if he'll still bite, then this option is for you. The trick is to act like you don't care while completely ruining his peace. Like maybe send him something cryptic like, hope you're having a good day, with like a red heart or whatever emoji you guys used to use that's like similar, just to see if he still bites. But we have to be clear here. Never let him think that he's actually winning. This is for sport. This is for entertainment. This is not, you're not doing this because you actually want to get back with him. You're doing this because it's funny. It's a test to see if he still reacts to your presence. And if he does, congratulations. You still hold real estate in his brain. And if he doesn't, he's dead to us anyways. I also want to add to this a little bit, like, don't be me. I know it's like funny to be like, oh, like I showed up at his house, like whatever, but like as someone who has done this more than once, I'm gonna say it's funny now, but then it was not funny and it was actually really serious to me. And like when I was doing that, I was in the worst mental place of my life. So maybe don't show up at his house, but if you're really down bad, I'll allow it. Maybe something good will come out of it. Probably won't, to be honest. I'll probably just call the police on you. And it's actually kind of messed up because recently I've been really into the block button on my phone, whether it be on text or social media. The block button button is a beautiful thing. And if you have a guy that actually has like this much of a hold on you, I urge you to practice this. Just block. It actually gets so much easier to move on from a guy when you're not seeing him on social media or whatever. Like, stop rereading the old text, delete the old text, and delete them from recently deleted, and delete his phone number, block his phone number, block his Instagram, block whatever you need to block to feel sane. And I know it's hard to do, but if you're seeing a guy that has this much of a hold on you, especially if it's negative, it's honestly the best thing you can do. I've been in my blocking era recently. Like I got a weird text the other day from someone from the past. Block. Someone posted an annoying TikTok. Block. If I get a DM from like a random dude I've never met in my life, block. Blocking is a way to protect your peace. It really is. And it's there for a reason. And I feel like we don't do this enough. Like, blocking people does not make you bothered. It makes you unbothered because you're choosing peace. You're choosing peace for yourself. Like, think about it. Like, I am so not gonna let somebody bother me on my own phone. So I block. Option 3, date night. And this, when I say date night, I mean like a first date. If you're in the mood for games, this is the way to go. This is my recommendation. And here's the trick with this. Older men are the way to go. If you're my age, go out with a guy in his 30s. Maybe if you want to push it, go out with a guy in their 40s. It's only a dinner. It's fine. It's whatever. Like, the good thing about older men is they know good wine and they honestly have so much wisdom with them. I've had great conversations with men in their 40s. Not that I've dated men in their 40s, but like, just generally, I've had great conversations with them. But from what I've known, actually, no, I did go on a date with this one guy in his 50s once, but I didn't know it was a date until the end. And then I never saw him again. This is like a whole other story for another day. But the trick is to act like you do this all the time. If he starts asking about your past relationships, just be like, I don't like to dwell on the past. Like, they eat it up. You may be asking what the goal is. Free dinner, a distraction, entertainment, no emotional attachment. Remember, we're here for experiences, not expectations. Option 4 is celebrating single living alone. And this is honestly a really big power move in my opinion. And most Valentine's Day, I have done this. Like, I've just kind of, made myself a nice dinner, had a glass of wine, watched my favorite movie, like however you like to unwind. Just have a night to yourself. Do some nice skincare. Maybe run a bubble bath or listen to Lana Del Rey in the dark. Whatever you like to do, like, just do it. This is the power move. You don't need to impress anyone. You're just doing what you enjoy doing. Option 5, pondering. This one is a dangerous game. And if you're feeling introspective, you may find yourself wondering, why am I single? If you start to get in the am I the problem territory, this is when I would say, do not text your ex for closure. Do not assume that just because you're a little emotionally unavailable, you're unlovable. I do this all the time. This is why I know this. If this option crosses your mind on Valentine's Day of all days, it is time to put on a hot outfit and proceed to option 6, which is girls' night out, which is also always a good time. I feel like you can't go wrong. If all else fails, if you don't want to spend the night in, but you still want to have fun, go on a girls' night out. Text your girls, get stupidly dressed up, and just have a good time. Go out just to be seen. But it's really important to remember, you're not going out to find a Valentine. You're going out to observe men like scientists. I promise you, if you go out on Valentine's Day, especially to a bar where they're hosting something for single people, men are going to be throwing themselves at you because they think it's the perfect night to find a girl that's a little upset that she's single and take advantage. At the end of the night, you're taking cute pics, you're ordering Taco Bell at 2 a.m. and going to sleep knowing that this was probably the best option you could have made. Here's the deal. We do not need a man that's doing the bare minimum to be validating our own self-worth. Valentine's Day doesn't always have to be about romantic love. It's about celebrating yourself and celebrating your friends or your dog or whatever. And honestly, who needs a Valentine when you have options, a good playlist, and great friends? So this Valentine's Day, I think we all just need to embrace our single girl status. Let's let the couples do their thing. Let them enjoy themselves. Let's not be hating on them. I see it every year where people on social media, like, they'll be like hating on people like in happy couples. Like, if you're hating on people in happy couples for Valentine's Day, we all know that you secretly want one, and that's just embarrassing, TBH. So let's just let them do their thing. Let them enjoy themselves. We are living our best lives. Whether that means spending the night out with your girls or listening to Lana Del Rey in the dark, whatever you want to do. The trick is to make Valentine's Day our own personal holiday, and that, my friends, is how we win. Now for some Dear Diaries. I asked you guys to write me in a bunch, Valentine's Day related or not, but you guys did not disappoint once again. I'm loving how much you guys are contributing to this. First one says, I keep dating guys who don't meet my standards. How do I stop wasting time on men who don't deserve me? I would say you need to raise your standards for yourself. If you're attracting guys who constantly don't meet your standards, I think it's honestly an issue within. I think it's a self-love issue. I think you need to learn how to love yourself truly before you start even dating. I mean, obviously, people date all the time when they don't love themselves, and that's often how they get into toxic relationships and like allow for, you know what girls are talking about. The girls that like how their boyfriend's obviously cheating, but they keep going back. Like, that's not where you want to be, you know? So I would say figure out how to love yourself first, and that comes with time. That comes with a lot of reflection and prioritization of yourself, but I promise you'll get there. Also, just like watching out for red flags, like catching them early. You know, like if he's not a good communicator, if he is liking like suspicious reels on Instagram, I think that's a good sign. Like just catching the red flags early, I think is a great way to not waste your time with men that suck. Dear Diary, how do I handle situationships that go nowhere but are a constant cycle? Girl, you have come to the right place. Situationships are probably the thing I know most about. You say situationships plural, so this seems to be a constant thing. This is like a constant cycle of a cycle. I'm gonna say it, and don't be mad, this seems to be a you problem. Going back to the question before it, it's kind of the same thing. You have to learn to love yourself, and you have to learn to stop letting men run your life. There's only been a couple times in my life where I was in a place like that, to where I was in relationships like this, but I know how horrible they are, and I know how much they can like wreck you as a person. It really just comes from loving yourself and literally not accepting anything less than the bare minimum. I can confidently say that now I'm in a place where I'm very comfortable with myself, and I'm very comfortable with who I am, not what I look like. Also that, but who I am. Obviously, nobody's life is perfect. Everybody's gonna have a thing that, you know, puts them in a bad mood. Obviously, if you get in like one situationship that's a constant cycle, that's one thing. But if you are having constant cycles like this with different men, I think the problem is you. Dear Diary, should I really feel guilty about ghosting someone? No. Why would you? I think the scenario matters here. The circumstances matter. I think if it's a guy that didn't know you that well and you ghosted him, big whoop, he'll get over it. But if it's someone that you've known for years, I think as long as he isn't a horrible, horrible person, I think ghosting may be a little unfair. But do what you need to do. If you can't have that conversation with him, ghost it. Put yourself first. You are the only one that has you at the end of the day. Dear Diary, I sent a meme to my situationship about Valentine's Day, and he read it and didn't reply. No response is a response. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm assuming you sent the meme to test the waters a little bit. I think you got your answer. Dear Diary, how do I make it clear to a guy that I'm seeing that I want to do something with him on Valentine's Day? Kind of like what I was saying earlier, I don't think you need to make it clear to him. I think if a guy wanted to spend Valentine's Day with you, you would know, and that would be the end of it. But, you know, I mean, if it's like a newer thing, like kind of like the soft launch situation, I can see how it can be a little like awkward maybe. So, I mean, I'm a person that doesn't like to beat around the bush. I'm just very honest and open, and I'll just say it straight to their face. Like, I don't really have anything else to say. I think if a guy wanted to spend Valentine's Day with you, he would. And if you're in a situation where it's awkward, he still would. Like, you can make it clear all you want. You can say it, you can scream it from the rooftops, but that doesn't mean he will. So, I mean, I would just be honest with him. So what's the verdict? Friend or foe? If you're in a real relationship and your boyfriend makes you happy and you guys are solid and it's healthy, then good for you. Then it's just a bonus day. But I think, honestly, it can be a bonus day to all of us. If you're single, like me, chronically, especially, Valentine's Day is the same as any other day. Literally just do whatever you need to do that makes you feel good. And if that's just using it as any other day, do Valentine's Day like any other day. But if not, that's okay too. Go out, girls' night out, show up at your ex's house, do whatever you need to do. Like, this is how we win Valentine's Day, is doing what we want and not what society expects us to do. Society expects us to be so sad, lonely, and lonesome, and like whatever, watch a rom-com by yourself, watch The Notebook by yourself. Like, no, let's not. It's your day. Next week, we're talking about the episode that was supposed to be this one. I decided to push this one because they come out on Friday. Valentine's Day is on a Friday, and this one would have come out on Valentine's Day, and it would have been too late. So next week, we're talking about having a dog in your 20s. This was Diaries of a 20-something, episode 33, which is crazy. I literally started this podcast. The first episode came out on May 31st, and like thinking that it's February, I'm like, wait, like we're almost at a year, which is like insane. Thank you guys so much for all the Dear Diary submissions and for watching and following along with me and subscribing and however you contribute. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. This podcast is literally everything to me. I'm eternally grateful. Like, share, and subscribe. Send this episode to a person who definitely needs to hear it. And I will see you guys all next Friday. Mwah.